Lady Lily back with another video. And before the premiere of season 2 of the HBO hit sitcom show Insecure air, I wanted to come back and do a video that will just review and provide a summary of season 1. So that way, if you did not have a chance to view season 1, you can get the backstory as you watch the season 2. For those of you all who have been following it along the way, you'll know where we pick up from. So, Insecure is original HBO series that is executive produced and starring Issa Rae, who is known from the YouTube's web series of Awkward Black Girl. She has took segments of the Awkward Black Girl as well as segments of her quote-unquote personal life and put it into an HBO half an hour sitcom. It aired back in late October of 2016, and when I finally got on the bandwagon of it, because I hadn't really heard about it, I was turned on to the show by one of my sorority sisters, and at that point they was already 4 episodes in. And my sorority sister was like, well, you can binge watch it because the shows are only a half an hour. And I was introduced, I binge watched, I think it was like after the Thanksgiving holiday. I had extended time off, so I was able to binge watch the 4 episodes, and by that time, I was able to hop on in that following Sunday, because I think it probably didn't air during the Thanksgiving holiday, I want to say whatever, but I was able to hop in and catch those last 4 episodes and then be on track for the buzz. It was one of those series that was real to life, down to earth. There was a lot of themes and themes and traits that took place that you can definitely relate to. So I just came across the summary, and I just want to share with you what the synopsis of the show was. Insecure is a half an hour comedy show, follows the friendship of 2 modeling black women, which is Issa and Molly, and all the uncomfortable experiences and racy tribulations. Issa is a woman who had just turned 29 years old, and as all women, when they get to the age of 29, and I've been there myself, they're looking back and reflecting on their life and seeing what they need to do and accomplish before they turn 30. So she's questioning her job, which she works at a non-for-profit, which was founded by a Caucasian woman, and apparently she's the token black person because nobody at the job is African American or lived in the hood. She's been dating this guy named Lawrence, who she lives with for the past 4 years, Lawrence for the past 4 years, and also those 4 years, I believe he ended up being unemployed. Lawrence's passion right now is to get his he has an app that he's trying to get off the ground called Hoodoo, and he's putting all his attention into that instead of finding a job. But something sparks in him, then he decides to go out, meet with a headhunter, and get to going with the jobs. So, over the course of the season, Issa attempts to figure out what she wants out of life and how to take control of it while fumbling her way through this journey. Her best friend, Molly, a corporate attorney, appears to have everything together professionally, but struggles inside as she looks for certain ways to fix her life. So Molly is this well-respected attorney. Her colleagues look up to her. She's well-respected amongst her peers. The only thing about Molly has a sucky dating life. She always finds some type of way to mess things up. She has came across, following her throughout the season, she has met some men that were not so nice, but she also met some nice quality type of guys. And she be the one who's over committing too soon. And it just shows her when she called herself stepping out her race, and she was dating Eric, but he said she got too serious. Then she was talking about the guy she met off her app, and she had ended up, it showed her going out several dates with guys she has met off of websites. And one, he started out nice, but he just like, he wanted to have sex. Then she ended up meeting a guy named Jared. Jared is a cute, handsome guy. He is a worker of Enterprise. And Molly is intrigued by him. She actually is attracted to him, but gets turned off when she finds out that he does not have a college degree, in which he reveals to her friends at a party. And apparently, I'm assuming all these friends are highly successful, college educated. So, I'm getting from her that she's somewhat kind of embarrassed. But Jared goes to say that he's not intimidated by her. He feel like he has not missed out by not going to college. He feel like he's, very accomplished in what he's doing currently with the Corporation of Enterprise. So, being driven on the fact that Jared was not college educated, it caused her to go on to look at, trying to get into this dating app called The League. And I guess all these people, you had to make a certain amount of money, have a certain amount of prestige, and all this good stuff. So she ended up meeting two guys through this app, this dating website. One thought it was going great, but all of a sudden he just stopped talking to her because he felt like she was doing too much early. For example, she said, "Oh, how did your dinner meeting go? I didn't hear back from you." He said, "Oh, I just was exhausted and ended up crashing." And then she goes on to say, "Well, you should have texted me and remind me. I wanted to make sure you got home safe." And then she said, "Just the little things." But they was not at that point in life. It wasn't like they had a serious, full-blown relationship for him to be calling and checking up on her. Then the other guy that she ended up dating, which ended up being played by the performer, the rapper, singer, whatever, Jadea. Jadea can relate to her and her corporate demeanor, as he too is a lawyer, and he too also have been the token black person within his law firm. So they seem to hit it off well, but things go south again with her when she's telling him that, he should leave a suit at her house or in the car, have a suit on standby so when he spend the night. And then also they hadn't been dating that long, but she was already forcing him to come to, her co-worker's engagement party. So, it seemed forced, like she's making him, and he's showing clear signs that, he doesn't really want to go. He got to work. He's not, but she keeps pushing and pushing. So he shows up, and guess what? He is doing all this stuff, and he's not taking it serious. He just said that he was a boyfriend, and he just showed up because he said he figured she needed a win. So she called herself going back to Jared, and then with Jared, they connected. She gave him a chance. But then when they did like a conversation of truth or dare, he reveals that he had an encounter with a man. But that encounter freaked him out, and he realized he was not gay. Well, she tried to pursue the relationship with him, but it kept running to her mind, and she let her friends get into his head that he's gay, blah, blah, blah. Whereas Issa, who's the main character, would tell her that, it was one time, he's not gay, you should be okay with it. Going back to Issa, so it's her and Jerry broke up. Going back to Issa, who's the star of the show. So not only is Issa trying to figure her life out at 29, she's trying to, pave her way career-wise. She feel like she's stuck with this man who is unemployment and stuck on the couch, or anyway. So she ends up coming across a good friend of her old friend of hers and crush named Daniel. Daniel is a guy that she kicked it with from high school and knew through college, but somehow they never connected to have a relationship. So she's on a mission to try to hook up, to be in the place that he was going to be at, so they could just accidentally just meet up. And that opens a whole nother can of worms about them, connecting. They end up connecting. She invited him for career day. He tried to help find her because it's this, she goes to an open mic night and perform a piece called Broken Pussy. She works with a non-for-profit, and the students found out about the video, and, she's embarrassed because it's on YouTube and all this good stuff. So, he helps her to try to get the video down, but is her, tech savvy boyfriend who's, worked in the technology field and all this stuff, anything computer science and all that stuff. It was him that get it down. She ends up sleeping with Daniel. They had a moment and they flashbacked, and they had a shoulda, coulda, woulda, but we never got together. They end up having sex. So Issa spent the rest of the season trying to, hide the guilt and all that from Lawrence. Lawrence ends up getting a job he does not want, but it's temporary. And in the meantime, Lawrence connected with, I want to say Tasha. Is it Tasha? Is a girl who's a teller at the bank who he has connected with. And in the meantime, Tasha is like being that homie, that's encouraging him, keeping him motivated and making him laugh. And he's actually, because Tasha works works by the store that he works by. So he's having lunch with Tasha, and Tasha's really like falling for him a little bit. She shows up on the job dressed very sexy, asking him out for drinks and jalapeno poppers, but then he reminds her that he has a girlfriend. But you remember what I told you, Issa on the other end had just had sex with Daniel. Eventually, Issa try to get over her guilt, and Lawrence try to mend things. He's looking for rings, and they're going out, and he's really trying to do something different, but he accidentally steps on Issa's phone and discovered that somehow her and Daniel got this connection. Issa is trying to find her way through work. She done had a successful career day. She took the kids to the beach. They had a service project, and now she had this big task of this annual fundraiser to help the organization fund money that turned out to be extremely well. Daniel ass shows up, and it's an awkward situation, but Molly helps Issa try to get Daniel out there, but Lawrence picks up on it. So eventually, Lawrence will ask Issa, I'm just moving around, I'm all over the place with this. Lawrence will ask Issa, did she sleep with Daniel? She didn't say yes, but her facial expression said yes. So Daniel's upset at this point. He moves out. He's kicking it with friends. And by the way, by this time, prior to that, he done got not just a job. He was working at Best Buy as a temp job, but he got a good job at some corporation. So now Lawrence done moved up, and he was like, here I am trying to get my life together, wanted to talk about marriage with you, and you go out and cheat. So he's with his friends. He's on this whole let's rebel, blah, blah, blah. Let's kick it at the strip club. And, he's soliciting dancers to take them in the back room. And she's telling him he got to pay anywhere from $200 to $600 to have sex or get freaky with her. But he calls Issa. And meantime, Issa is on a girls trip with her friend because they rented a house for her friend's birthday. And what happens is that Issa tries to go back in the middle of the night to come talk to him, because she told him, if it's noisy at your friend's house, I'm not back. I'm back. I come back Monday. You can stay at the house. You got the key, whatever. So he said, bet. He comes back, and she said, I want to, he said, let's talk when you get back. But Issa took that like, oh, let's go talk now. So she has her friend drive her back to her home at 2-ish in the morning. And only to discover that Lawrence had moved out, took everything of his, and left the old Best Buy shirt. And it also shows that Lawrence ended up having sex with Tasha, the ones who've been motivating him all season. So I'm all over the place with this. So that gives you a glimpse of what the season 1 happened. It left off Molly was trying to go back with Jared because she realized Jared was a good guy. Jared wasn't having it. Daniel, upset, disappeared because Issa didn't want to give him the time of day, even though Issa had a boyfriend. Lawrence, upset, confused. Now he got the job together, but now the love life is he's not feeling the love life right now because Issa cheated on him, and he might go see what Tasha about. And then we have Issa, who feel like she, in the season, she don't have Daniel, she don't have Lawrence. What does she do have? Even though she's at that point where her career is like really flourishing through these past couple events and promotions she had with her job. So I know this is all over the place, but at least it gets you a fast, quick start to the season 2 of Insecure. So stay tuned. I'm going to be back with the first episode of season 2 of the HBO hit sitcom Insecure. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos. Have a good night.